risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm Scholar Jeff. With me today is Scholar Brian.
Hi.
Hey,
it's about to get weird.
Hey, wait a minute.
Who's that other guy?
Who is
here?
this guy? Who is this speaking?
Hey. Are you serious? You guys forgot about me? I've only been gone for a month and all of a sudden I'm not existent anymore?
Well,
Who are you again?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Who are you?
You know what?
We're just kidding.
You know what?
Scholar
Slap you. You brought your memory back.
The boys are back together. Scholar Tark is back in the building. Welcome back.
It's great to be back. I am so happy to be back. I had a great time being a daddy. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life being a daddy.
I was going to say the daddy train never ends.
But now
never
it's time
ends.
to get back on the grind.
Now to get back and look at what's going on in today's wrestling product, and
You picked a damn fine episode
Meh.
of Raw to do it.
I wouldn't say fine, but yeah, we'll get into
We'll
that
go
one a
with
little
a
later.
giant meh.
It's like,
Tiny bit of sarcasm there.
wow, it's like I really didn't miss a lot since I left.
No,
Because
you really haven't.
It really was just as bad as it was when I left. So
Second verse, same as the first, sir.
exactly.
Until we get into that, let's start off with the way we always like to start these things off, with a little bit of backstage news.
Yes, let's check behind the curtains on some backstage news.
So, I'm going to start things off with something you told me right before we got on the air, which I didn't even catch. Something about Randy Orton working a limited schedule now?
Yeah, from what I've been reading this week is the fact that WWE is giving him a limited limited schedule. Mainly, they just took him off live shows. Like, apparently his last show is going to be in Europe in November, and it's going to be main eventing against Dean Ambrose. And in my opinion, that's a good way to really go out
Pass
of
the
your
torch?
go out on your live schedule run.
What this means to me is that he's slowly turning into WWE's version of TNA Sting. TNA Sting, working all TV shows, all pay-per-views, no live shows.
And you know what? That's a fair trade. If they want to get, in my opinion, if they're only doing this because they want to get the most mileage out of however many years Randy Orton's got left, I'd say that's a pretty good idea, especially so he's not overexposed like he has been in years past. And now when Randy Orton does come out, then it means a little bit more.
Yeah, and especially considering how injury-prone he used to be, now that he's getting older, you could start having those issues come back. So give him some time off, take him off the live shows, and you'll have a better Randy Orton. And there's nothing wrong with that.
My immediate response to when I first read this was, oh my god, it's starting. He's slowly turning into a part-timer. It'll be a matter of time when he slowly disappears off the actual televised programs. And honestly, I wouldn't be that upset about it, because really, what else does he have left to do? Nothing against him. I think he's very good. I wouldn't even say he's underrated, because he's still in the main event picture. He's just not really in. He's in and not in at the same time, where everyone's focusing on the future talent, which is what exactly is supposed to be done. Unlike a certain main eventer, which shall not be named until later this show.
But the whole...
But when it comes to Randy Orton, it's good. He's slowly turning into that point where he's slowly backing up and letting the future stars really take control of the show, which needs to be done.
Because you can actually say at this point, one of the few, Randy Orton has done everything that you can basically pretty much do in the WWE.
More or less.
There's really nowhere else he can go. There's nothing else he can do. So slowly step back.
Exactly.
And do your best to put over the new talent. What this also tells me, okay, with that live show, the last live shows he's doing, he's facing off against Dean Ambrose. It kind of telegraphs what's going to happen at Hell in a Cell for me.
I sincerely hope so. I really, really do.
Because it telegraphs the fact to me that the end result of the pay-per-view is going to be John Cena versus Seth Rollins. in the Hell in a Cell. It kind of telegraphs it for me, but
Hope springs eternal.
Hope springs
We'll
eternal.
cross that bridge when it
So
comes.
wait. With hopes, like you're hoping it doesn't come to that way with Orton versus Dean Ambrose at the pay per view.
No, I'm
Is that-
hoping Dean Ambrose they actually jump on this chance, and I'll elaborate further once we get
Because
there.
I would say that's not like you to think.
It's
John
not
Cena-
bad. It's just not the best thing that could come out of
We'll
that
get
paper.
to that.
Oh, I got
Speak-
plenty to say about that.
Oh,
but-
I know we all do. But for now, as far as the realm of backstage news goes, what's this about United Airlines supposedly losing Dolph Ziggler's Intercontinental title?
That's what he's been tweeting all week, is that fact that United Airlines has lost his bag, which held the Intercontinental Championship. Luckily, WWE has a lot more where that came from.
I laughed because at the beginning of his little tweet fest, Jericho tweeted him back. It was like, "I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I took it." And then he's like, and Ziggler's like, "Dude, I'm gonna need that back." And he's like, "I'm sorry, but the smell of Chipotle in your bag beckoned to me."
No, seriously, how much you want to bet that right now some TSA agent or some concierge bag checker guy, I forget what the actual name for the job is, how much you want to bet that some wrestling fan who's working for TSA or whatever was just screening bags and all of a sudden, wait a minute, that's Dolph Ziggler. Wait a minute, this is Dolph Ziggler's bag. Wait a minute, that's the Intercontinental title. Yoink.
I could be perfectly honest. I would do the exact same thing if I was in that guy's position. If that
And
actually
that's
was
why
the
you
case.
don't work for the TSA.
That
And
is
I'll be
exactly why I don't work for the TSA.
And I'll be perfectly honest, this little thing right here is more entertaining than the Intercontinental title storylines for the last couple months.
That's just sad.
Well,
this little tweet fest between TSA and Dolph Ziggler about losing his bag with the Intercontinental title in it. I kind of want to see a match between Dolph Ziggler
The TS agent
and the
versus Dolph.
TSA agent.
oh boy.
This is
We're
getting
just
off the
we're
rails
just jumping
fast.
to conclusions. Who knows? It actually may have just been lost
Someone roll out the jump to conclusions, Matt. But
because
before
that's
we,
what we do best: jump to conclusions.
all right. But before we start jumping to any more conclusions, we cannot leave out the most important part of backstage news. Just found out maybe a few hours ago from the time of this recording. Of course, we've got just announced the on-sale date for the 2015 Royal Rumble.
Yes, that I just read
The
that
on-sale
today,
date
too.
for tickets to the Royal Rumble, November 1st at 10 a.m.
In Philly, no less.
Yes.
In-
So if you're on the East Coast like we are, this is huge news.
Get on that.
Especially considering they're planning on bringing back the 40-man Royal
Oh
Rumble.
yeah, which I love. I am ecstatic that they're bringing that back.
This is going to be a really fun Royal Rumble game this year.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
And not only is the Royal Rumble game coming back, spoilers, and look out for it in January, sponsored by this very show, but also you better believe that the Scholars are going to make every single effort to be there live.
We're going to try and make one giant sign bigger than what we had at, what was the pay-per-view that we went to? in Jersey.
Extreme Rules.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
we
yeah,
did go
the
to
one
Extreme.
that I missed.
Yeah, we'll have a bigger sign than the one I made.
And we'll try to sit together this
We'll
time.
try to sit. We'll all
instead of-
try and sit together with that one.
Yeah, that, I believe, is already a work in progress. The Scholars are working on it.
Scholars Road Trip, baby.
That's
Here
right.
we go.
I would honestly love to see how the Scholars are going to cover this. If the Scholars do go, mark my words, you're in for something special.
You're gonna be in for a lot of me bragging about how I'm so great at Royal Rumble predictions.
Oh, please.
Oh, you've only won
I
one
only-
game. You've only won one game.
It's one more than I've
one game,
won.
but I can predict the winner. Like, yeah,
That
Okay.
one time. One time.
Before we go,
3 times.
before we attempt to get tickets, however, there's only one question I need to know. Do they still do it at these sports arenas? Do they still shut off the bar access to the bar at a certain time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I am no longer worried about you, Brian.
You
Or
boozer.
never mind, I just jinxed myself.
Yeah, you boozer.
Well, considering last time I was with Todd, it didn't really matter.
Oh, that didn't help you at all.
All right. Well, moving on to something we actually might want to consider getting drunk over. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw.
Oh boy, this is gonna be
come on, you loved it.
The big fat meh.
But honestly, with this Raw, I don't know about you guys, but I was in that mood where I really wanted to watch wrestling. So when the first thing I saw when I came out was, setting up the Cena Ambrose tag match with Rollins, Kane, and Orton, I was into it. I was like, okay, we got a Raw here. This is good.
Well, that was the highest high. Okay? That was the highest high of Raw. The whole first segment, anything that had to do with that particular storyline was great. It was awesome.
Yeah.
From Seth Rollins coming out, calling out Dean Ambrose because of the whole slime incident last week. And then John Cena comes out and attacks him. Seth Rollins jumps over the ramp into the crowd. Then out of the blue, Dean Ambrose shows up. I just love all the memes that are just coming out of that, of course.
Just standing next
Surprise
to him.
Ambrose.
Surprise Ambrose out of nowhere.
Surprise!
And then just bringing back to brawling. The Ambrose jumping off the barricade onto Cena and Rollins. It's really just Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose that is just making this feud very interesting to me.
Yeah, this obviously we're going to be talking about this feud the whole entire night. Let's face it. But as far as just the way it's been booked, sure, it's the same kind of brawling that we've seen out of these guys for the past few weeks, but it hasn't lost its luster yet. I don't think.
Because something always comes up between the two of them that's something different. It ends up being the same brawl or whatever, but the story before the brawl ends up being somewhat different. Like this time, you get surprise Ambrose in the crowd, and Cena attacking him beforehand. Then last week with the slime and the clearance sale, you didn't really see that before. There's something involved every week that is still fresh, and then you get into the brawl.
And also, really, looking back at it, it's really the only feud that WWE is really putting their money and investment in throughout the entire program. Really look at it. That's the one feud that they are focusing really on, putting so much time and effort in. And then you look back, you look at all the other feuds and all the other mid-level feuds. There really is very little to none interest in it.
You're getting them thrown into.
They're just throwing
matches.
random matches and all that. And then you have Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and John Cena, which is the main focus. Mm-hmm. Everything that has to do with them is the focus of WWE right now. Everything else they just throw together.
And two out of three of those guys, it's like, all right, cool. And then you get the superfluous third guy, who of course is John Cena because he has to be in the.
He has to be in the most interesting feud.
Yeah, but you know what? We'll see how that goes.
But this time it actually kind of works because it does make sense because of what Seth Rollins did at the pay-per-view.
Oh, yes, indeed. Now, again, that was a good opening. I think this is both our matches of the night for the moment. The match of the night, easily the next tag team match we got right out of the gate here. What was it? Ziggler and the Usos versus Dashing Gold and Cesaro. This was a good match. This is exactly what I came in to see.
Take two title feuds, throw them in a match together, and let's see how it works.
And it worked perfectly fine.
It was perfectly fine. It was a great match. I'm just, in my opinion, I'm kind of getting tired of seeing it. It's because it's really been the same matches for the past few weeks. To a point where, yes, it's entertaining. They do really great, but it's also the results mainly are the same. Mm-hmm. Mainly, the Usos are the one getting the real victory out of all this.
So you want to switch it up a little bit? Is that what you're saying?
It's just I'm getting tired of seeing getting tired of seeing it being the same thing. Yes, I do want it to be mixed up a little bit. I want to see, like Dashing Gold being the main threat that took the tag team titles from the Usos. With Ziggler and Cesaro, yes, they're planning on having a match at Hell in a Cell, but they're not doing anything with that feud. Yes, they planted a feud that happened of Cesaro keep getting screwed out of the Intercontinental title. One, when they first had their IC title match on SmackDown. What was it, a couple of weeks ago, with him putting his foot under the ropes, and they still got counted 3. Then he has his rematch on Raw, but they decided to throw The Miz in there. And because of that, Cesaro looks like he was going to get the win over The Miz, and then Ziggler takes him out. So it makes... It's an interesting idea of what they're doing with the feud. It's just they're not putting any real investment in it.
Here's my problem with this, okay? You've got title feuds, okay? You need to put some storyline into it, okay? All they're doing is throwing these guys in 6-man tag matches, and yeah, the matches are good every week, but there's no investment into the title match.
Oh yeah,
at the pay-per-view whenever they have it, because all they've done to build it up is have 6-man tags and have the, like last month, okay, the Usos and the Dashingly Gold had a storyline going into it. Dashingly Gold kept screwing up whichever Uso it was. They kept murdering his knee every week. So there you go. Basic storyline, but still something to get you invested in the match. What do they have this month for the match? They have 6-man tag matches thrown together and say, hey, I'm using my rematch clause at the pay-per-view. Let's throw 6-man tags together. Ziggler and Cesaro, same thing. Why am I invested in this match? Because it's Ziggler and Cesaro. No other reason. There's no storyline purposes. It's just...
Oh, they have the storyline. It's just a very weak one. Because they don't talk about it.
Yeah, give me something to get me invested in this match other than the participants in it. Because Ziggler and Cesaro, you're automatically invested in the match. But give me more of a reason to actually give a crap.
And I think you guys just summed up about 70% of the mid-card right now. Which is sad.
Yeah.
Really?
Give us a reason to give a crap about these guys.
But even so, again, at the time I wasn't even thinking about that since, I was in that I want to watch wrestling mood. So really, these guys put on an excellent match and it was a lot of fun to watch. And that's sort of I'm not sure if you guys picked up on this, but it's sort of an ongoing theme I picked up for the rest of the night. I was thinking about it. It's like, what does this Raw remind me of? And after I thought about it for a little bit, it really reminds me of that one bit from the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror with the puppet. Boy. Like, oh, how's it go? Like, oh, you can get this doll for free. That's good. The doll is cursed. That's bad. But you get your free choice of a free frozen yogurt, which I call Froget. That's good. The Froget is also cursed. That's bad. You know this. You know this skit. I'm not going.
I know this skit. I'm trying to.
Froget is also cursed. You know what I mean. I feel like this Raw was just like that segment. It's like, oh, we got a Dean Ambrose segment. That's good. Then we get a celebrity spot with Kathy Lee and some woman named Hoda for some reason.
As I said earlier, as I said earlier, the highest high. Okay, this was the lowest low. The lowest of all the lowest to ever be low. Okay,
this was really the most cringeworthy segment. I don't really want to talk about it. It was so cringeworthy. It's really Adam Rose and the Bunny have become nothing more than escorts. Pretty much, they took the position that the Bellas were doing when they were together. Whenever celebrity appearances came, they were the escorts for the.
You're absolutely right.
That's what Adam Rose and the Bunny has become.
Adam Rose and the Bunny are the new Bellas.
That's
sad.
That's bad.
Here's the deal, all right? You need to stop at these celebrity segments. They do nothing for anybody.
No,
that's it.
I don't have a problem with the celebrity segments. It's just like, have celebrities who actually give a crap about WWE. Hugh Jackman, he loves WWE. Every time he shows up, he's invested. Kathy Lee and whatever the hell her co-host is.
It's great.
Kathy Lee and whatever the hell what's her name again? Ho Ho.
Her name is Ho Ho.
All right, Ho Ho. Those two don't give a crap about WWE. They're just doing it for the Susan Komen Foundation. Instead, let's just talk like idiots and dance around, hit each other's asses with
sugar glass
bottles. It's ridiculous.
You're doing this for a good cause, but you're doing this
But it's
for a
stupid.
good cause.
Say what you will about guest hosts, but at least when they brought out Joan London, who actually is dealing with breast cancer right now, when it came out later on in the night, at least you could tell that she was sincere.
She was sincere, and it was respected because
Yeah,
they took
thank
it
you.
seriously. You heard the crowd. The crowd every time when she was finishing what she was saying, they were applauding her because she was sincere about what's going on with the Breast Cancer Foundation.
Yeah.
With Kathy Lee and the other one, they were just goofing off because they were quote quote having fun. You don't have fun with them trying to promote the Breast Cancer Awareness Fund.
Yeah, that's...
You don't.
There's nothing fun about
There
that.
wasn't
You
fun.
can't do.
And
You
it-
can't do that.
And it
It was just
pissed me
Kathy
off
Lee
even
and
more.
and Ho 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 just...
It pissed me off more because my aunt
Stumbling around.
is a breast cancer survivor, and it just really got under my skin with
Right.
how much they were joking about it. And even they said Kathy Lee didn't even want to be didn't want to go to this WWE show. They only did it
I
because
heard
John
that,
Cena
yeah.
was just a guest on their host, and so they were contractually obligated. Wow, tongue twister.
See, it's not that easy, is it?
To show up on WWE show, even though they didn't want to go on it. So you can tell they weren't enjoying themselves because they were being stupid.
Right, and to be fair to Kathy Lee Gifford, she's the only one who said, you know what, I don't feel 100% comfortable being on Monday Night Raw. So, you know what, I can't take away all the points to Kathy Lee Gifford for that. But again, I've got some very good friends of mine who are breast cancer survivors too, and even then, it's like, okay, I'm all for Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Awareness Month, painting the ring ropes pink, selling pink merchandise. I'm all for that, absolutely, 100%. But you know, guys, this served absolutely no purpose at all.
It was a waste of time. Simple as that. Nothing good came out of this segment. It even made, like I just said, it made Adam Rose nothing more than the new escort for WWE for all the for celebrities, and it just made them look like idiots.
So I'm guessing you're going to be checking out the replay of Friday Night SmackDown where Kane totally demolishes Adam Rose.
I'll probably watch that just because I want to see Kane demolish Adam
In
Rose.
a manner most righteous.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
That's
was
actually-
actually watching it right before we started recording. The reaction of the Rosebuds is absolutely hilarious. Kane just walks in. Every time Rose gets a little bit of offense, the Rosebuds start dancing. As soon as Kane hits a move, they all just go silent and just deadpan.
And the crowd goes wild because no one
Yeah.
likes Adam Rose.
It's like, yay, well, oh, big boop, boom. Oh.
It's sad when the bunny is getting more.
Adam Rose
I
gets
can't even say more popular because who really cares about the bunny?
Indeed.
Who cares?
I will care about the bunny when he takes off his mask and he's Sami Zayn or someone cool.
I don't want him. I don't want Sami Zayn to take off the bunny mask.
I don't want that either.
I just
but-
want Sami Zayn to come out as Sami Zayn and have some.
I know.
There
Not
was rumors
saying,
that
just saying.
There was rumors that what was it? Darren Young.
Darren Young.
was gonna
Darren
come
Young
out.
can come out of the bunny.
But from what it's looking,
Darren
like,
Young, Darren Young already came out. What are you talking about?
Damn it.
knee slapper, smooth. I lost my train of thought. What I was just about to say.
It's okay.
It's even-
Darren
oh, okay, I
Young
got
is
it.
a badass now. He's cool.
I remember now. Hell, even they're giving up on that storyline because they're focusing more on Los Matadores and El Torito versus Slater Gator and Little Gator. Basically, a repeat of Hornswoggle versus Torito, because that's the feud we want to see. Other than the actual talent that's Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil and Los Matadores, because the mascots are the main focus of the feud.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You can tell that
WWE
10
bookings
years from
love
now,
you.
that's going to be that's going to be on the WWE Network as one of the great feuds of our time.
We should just pull out the sarcasm sign for that one.
You know what?
That would make me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
One of us needs to come up with a sarcasm sign just to put on the episodes when they air on YouTube. That's what we got to do.
Say it. Boom. Sarcasm.
You know what?
Sarcasm.
Make
Boom.
Fool, make it happen.
I'll try.
In the meantime, let's talk about something good now.
Please.
Let's talk about Dean Ambrose wanting a hot dog.
that.
Dean Ambrose can have all the hot dogs in the world.
That from
I'm going
Dean
to
Ambrose.
Coney Island.
It was just
Dean
a
Ambrose.
delivery. Oh man!
I love it.
It's
Just
like the intense stare down. You think, okay, they're going to trash talk. They're going to trash talk. Moment of silence.
you know
I'm
what?
kind of hungry.
I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to go to Coney Island and get a hot dog. I'm like, there you go. And
Like, okay, see ya.
See you. Bye.
I love that at first it started off as the serious promo with Dean Ambrose saying, you don't want to get me angry, John Cena, blah, blah, blah. Cena comes out, pretty much says the exact same thing, stare down. Then, all of a sudden, I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to get a hot dog at Coney Island. And then literally gone. The one real complaint I had about that is the obvious, like, pre-recorded taping of Dean Ambrose getting on the train.
But you know what? The effect worked.
The effect worked. It was just like, could you at least like try add something to actually make it look like it's a serious thing? I'm like have like I don't know, Renee Young chase after him while he's going down, getting on the train. Like, wait, what about your handicap match? And I was like, I'm hungry. I want a hot dog. I'm going to Coney Island. Boom.
But can't you get one from concessions? Now the one here sucks.
Oh, Barclays Center trashing, talking.
And that's probably why they didn't have Renee Young chase down the Titty Master.
Well, they didn't really have to have him say, I don't like the hot dogs here.
I know, but you know what I mean. Anyway, that was fun enough.
Dean Ambrose is going to say what Dean Ambrose wants to say.
Exactly.
And you know what? In the modern WWE setting, he knows it, and he is money.
He is money.
In the meantime, we had a couple segments, nothing really to write home about. Wrestling. And then we're getting into a little segment that talks a little bit about the guy who had to step aside for Dean Ambrose to get skyrocketed to the top. Of course, we get a Roman Reigns update.
You mean a Roman Reigns pre-taped interview?
Oh, yes, of course.
He smiled too much. Get that crap out of my head.
And he said things really with a lot of us, and yeah, he talked too much like a NFL athlete in an interview.
From what you're going,
really
you make
awkward.
it sound like he's talking like Jeff Goldblum.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm Dean Ambrose. Yes.
Aren't you supposed to be Roman Reigns?
Yes. I'm
With
Dean Ambrose.
with a
I'm
smile,
Dean Roman Reigns Ambrose.
with a smile that shouldn't be on the character of Roman Reigns' face.
It just was a very awkward
promo. Needs to stop that.
It just shows. It just shows
Reigns.
how
Hi.
really
I'm
what's the right word? He's just not up there when it comes to mic skills.
You can't do promos. If you want
he
him to
can't-
have an enforcer type role, that's probably the best where he needs to be right now. Don't give him a microphone. Stop it.
Now, you know what? He's definitely the kind of wrestler who needs a manager at this point in his career. He just can't go, believe that, and then that's it. He needs the Brock Lesnar treatment. Give him someone with a whole lot of mic skill. That's what worked for him in the Shield. Let's face it. He had Dean Ambrose, of course, and Seth Rollins could hold his own, too.
They both are very great mic.
Yeah, Seth
workers.
Rollins has
Reigns
Reigns just
improved
really
needs
a
are.
to
lot.
just sort of
Yeah.
hang out in the back and just sort of do whatever. And then he looked like a badass.
And
Now
all
he's just
he had to
floating
say
on
was,
his own.
"Believe in the Shield," and it was good. It was golden.
Now
Now,
it's
he's got nothing.
Yeah,
It
he
was-
looked like a cool guy, and occasionally when he did talk to Renee Young, it's like, baby girl, you just let the Shield be a shield. Believe that. And he looked like a really cool dude. Now he's just sort of floundering on his own.
He's the goofy. He's trying to be the goofy, the face. That's like everything will be okay. I'm coming back.
Take your vitamins.
Yeah. And that is not Roman Reigns. That is not Roman Reigns.
Instead of looking like Roman Reigns, he looks like me at my junior prom, okay? Not pretty. Tries to be cool, but just doesn't get the job done, okay? Real talk. We all know it, all right?
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Nothing to respond to that.
All
Other
right.
than, you know what? Roman Reigns needed the time. He needed an excuse to heal up. You know what? He can use his time after he recovers to stop being green and get in a decent shape. So
No, it's like
it's all good.
You're not Randy Orton. We don't need updates every week. Randy Orton did very good updates when he first broke his collarbone and turned heel. That was the crux of the character coming back for Evolution. Roman Reigns doesn't need that. Stop it.
Yeah, really, it was. You can tell it's just to fill time and sort of make him look like if this was Sports Center and they just wanted to get a phone call from a recovering athlete. I get what they were going for, but it just did not work here. It was just clunky, and he didn't tell us anything. It's like, I'm gonna come back soon. Yeah.
I'm Roman Reigns. Believe that.
I'm Roman Reigns. Believe that. I'm gonna come back. And I'm gonna beat somebody. Believe that. That's all we got.
And there was even long awkward silence during each like pause and like with Michael Cole and Roman Reigns, and it just didn't flow well at all. And it just
no, sir.
It hurt it. It really hurt that segment, and it just God.
That's pretty much all we can say. Just ugh. Anyway, moving on to the real match that everyone wants to talk about. The exciting match of El Torito versus Mini Gator.
Didn't we just talk about this?
Allow me to stick my finger down my throat.
Like I said earlier, we already had a Hornswoggle versus El Torito feud, and it was actually entertaining. This, now throwing Hornswoggle in a Gator costume because he's working now again with Heath Slater and now Titus O'Neil. Why? Why do we need this? This is just a waste of time. The crowd... This is honestly the very first time I have ever heard a "This is stupid" chant.
Yeah, and that really... I think I can speak for both of us when I say that there really wouldn't be anything really to talk about with this match, unless that crowd did not chant like that. You can at least now we are certain, 100% certain, that the WWE powers that be got the message. Thank you, Smarky crowd. We love you.
Wait, how did they get the message?
Because they made it undeniable that, they got that really super loud "This is stupid" chant.
Oh yeah, they got
you can't miss that.
Oh yeah,
not
they
on
can't.
live TV.
I was just saying, did they respond in any way for this feud to end?
You
No,
can't ignore that.
You'd be surprised.
Like when it was Hornswoggle and El Torito when they were 3MB versus Los Matadores, it was entertaining because you got guys who were putting themselves in the feud too. It wasn't just Hornswoggle and El Torito. It was 3MB versus Los Matadores as well. This one, they're focusing more on, and now I can really call them the mascots of the tag teams.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was.
Difference between
and the crowd is completely over it by now.
Oh, they
so,
hate it.
yeah.
And when Hornswoggle actually did the Gator roll to Heath Slater, people were booing it like crazy. I'm like, no, wait, didn't you just take one of Luke Harper's many moves?
Yeah, but that you can tell it wasn't even Hornswoggle wrestling. It was just it was a gimmick doing a gimmick move for gimmick's sake.
Yeah, because he was He was blind, right? Because didn't Hornswoggle put a blind thing over his head and then he just attacked Heath Slater?
Something like that. It was stupid. It really was stupid.
Oh my god!
The crowd got it right, people. It doesn't happen often.
Why do we even have to talk about this? Because honestly, it just hurts.
I thought
it
the
hurts my
reaction.
head.
I thought the reaction was too good. I'm sorry. I thought the reaction was just.
The people actually chanted, "This is stupid" to a stupid segment. It doesn't happen often. Take it while you can.
So I got some enjoyment out of that at least.
Yes.
But anyway, next up we get a whole big segment with Rusev and Lana, gloating, and all of a sudden The Rock shows up.
Out of
What?
the blue. He takes time out of his busy schedule to show up in a WWE show.
And
He was in New York at the time. He was like, you know what? Why not?
And it was glorious.
Yeah, really. I was just after that whole El Torito Mini Gator thing, I was just sort of zoning out, doing nothing. All of a sudden, I was like, "If you smell," and I was like, "Wait, what?
What?
Really?"
I had to basically second take it. I'm like, wait, what? Is this a joke? And then all of a sudden he really does come out and tears Lana and Rusev apart. First, Lana was like complimenting the hell out of her because she deserves it. She is beautiful and she's gorgeous.
Yes.
And then ended Rock anyway. The Rock can is saying, "But you look like you have a Smirnoff up your Putin." And
now that's how you use PG.
That is how you use PG. And really, after the whole segment, really looking back on it, I'm just like, you know what? With The Rock being here on this right now, it's both a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Not because of The Rock, not at all. It's because of his mic skills, just showing how awesome he can be just for showing up for one show. And then you look back on the actual main roster talent and their mic skills are very lackluster mic skills.
That's changing.
It kind of hurt showing someone who's not even... The Rock, hell, wasn't even trying. Yet, everyone else, when they try and look intimidating or try and say something intimidating, it just comes out saying... I mean,
I'm
really...
gonna bop you one.
I guess the only real people that can be on the mic and actually sound A, real, and B, like intimidating and actual sound like it's not scripted, it's something that they're really saying, is the main feud with like Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, John Cena, Randy Orton, Triple H, hell, even Kane and Stephanie. Really, it's just those people. Everyone else either doesn't say anything at all, or when they do, when some of them do say it, Bray Wyatt, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like people who are actually on TV and not with awesome video packages.
Yeah, I really seriously, I really hope that they come back soon, because you know what? I know Bray Wyatt and I have been sort of like, we've had a real love-hate relationship with each other, but you know what?
Wait, what?
Yeah, you know,
You have a love-hate relationship with... Oh, yeah, your nightmare with him fighting for Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
yeah.
Oh, history lesson on that
Oh,
one.
man.
Bray Wyatt, we'll have a rematch soon, sir.
Wow, nice.
But you know what?
Nice.
In all relative seriousness here, I want Bray Wyatt to come back. Like, ever since he's been away, I was like, it's almost like a Poochie effect. Every time he's away, people must ask, where's Bray Wyatt?
You know, all right, before we actually continue on the Bray Wyatt discussion, let's just give just our final thoughts on The Rock and Rusev. It was awesome. Glorious. Even Lana was all
Much
giddy.
needed.
Even Lana was all giddy, trying to be serious, but she's like, I'm in the ring with The Rock.
Yeah, it was much needed.
It's a fair reaction to have.
It was much needed break from the monotony that had been the last hour and a half of the show.
Yeah. It was such a shock, too. It was, like, jarring.
What I liked about it is it definitely gives a good rub to Rusev as an actual legit threat. The fact that that they're actually giving him time with The Rock.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
He stood up to The Rock, took a little bit of a beating for it, but they
Okay,
let him go face to face with The Rock, and that's all you need.
Let me ask you guys something.
What's up?
From what I've read, they were afraid for Rusev to take the rock bottom because it actually may hurt him, like hurt his progress as a legit threat. So taking a rock bottom would hurt him, but taking a knockout punch last week wouldn't.
I guess because The Rock's name, since he's so rarely used these days, whatever he does, The Rock anyway, whatever Rock does, it means a lot more. I'm guessing that's what they're going for.
I guess.
But you know what?
I don't understand.
As far as what they
Stretch,
did do,
but yeah.
it progressed the feud, it progressed the storyline, and it gave people a chance to see The Rock. And you know what? They'll also keep people tuning in regardless of whatever stupid crap they pull. Because you know what? It generates that feeling of, okay, The Rock came out on a random Raw. What's going to happen next week? I want to tune in. I want to see. So I get what they were going for. Certainly, I thought it worked here. The only real caveat I can see is that, you know what, it's going to be up to the Big Show to continue the feud. Rock isn't going to be around every week to punch him in the face.
It's probably just this feud with Rusev and The Rock, it will happen like probably never.
Yeah,
probably never.
That was a one.
I think it was just a one-time deal.
Yeah.
It just,
but what a one-off it was.
Oh yes,
it was a fun one-off.
I especially liked the last bit that The Rock said before he started hooking off on Rusev when he did the "I'm the eyebrow."
Oh yeah, that it was just fun. Rock is fun.
The time for talk is done.
Yeah, nice. And as I said plenty of times, all this hate for The Rock, the fact that he's gone, I'm like, really, just it's kind of silly to really hate on him now.
Yeah, hate him when he was a full-time, and when he was, air quotes, taking spots away from the guys. But for like one-offs like this, Great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
It
go
worked.
back to Bray Wyatt. Let's go back to the packages.
Yes. Let's
Yes.
talk about Bray Wyatt's package. I mean,
Oh, dear.
I mean,
Continuing the love-hate relationship between Jeff Smith and Bray Wyatt. Oh,
I mean,
I mean,
you can't get between our love.
Okay,
No,
yes.
in all relative seriousness here, because
Yes.
it's wrestling. You can only stay so serious.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Really, I'm a little annoyed that all of a sudden, first of all, Bray Wyatt's all over the place for weeks and weeks and weeks, and now all we get is video packages. Why?
because John Cena killed him.
He's coming back. He's like Superman.
no.
All I can really say is this: I wish we can have Bray on TV a lot more, but honestly, this is could be the best thing for him, because if
I
he is
agree,
on
actually.
TV, what will he do?
I
actually
agree with you.
He was in the middle of a stupid feud with the Big Show, but then they gave Big Show to Rusev. That was apparently Bray Wyatt's thing before he disappeared. He was in the middle of a
I
feud,
remember that, yeah.
and they just gave the feud to someone else. Chris Jericho. They had a Bray Wyatt Jericho feud. They ended that one abruptly just so they can have a Chris Jericho Randy Orton feud. And now they tried to move him to Big Show, and they abruptly stopped that so they can have Big Show versus Rusev. So really, this really was the best thing for Bray Wyatt, and it just shows how much we all miss him. We want him to show up, and these video packages, were just so good. The one real greatness of that WWE does are these video packages, and we are once again intrigued of what's going on with the Wyatt family, setting free Luke Harper.
Bray Wyatt healing Eric Rowan.
Doing now the video packages for Eric Rowan, setting him free too. The mysterious picture of a pregnant woman with a writing on her stomach saying "It's coming." What does that mean?
I don't know. And you know what?
Sister Abigail?
Maybe I don't.
I hope they don't
Baby
go that.
Abigail?
I don't. That may be
Baby Abigail?
I hope they don't. Ew. I hope they don't go quite in that direction. But you were
I guess
spot
maybe.
on. Really, you're using him sparingly so he doesn't get overexposed. And as much as it sucks not to see a wrestler I like on the show, I get what they're going for. And you better believe with all these segments and everything that they're doing, he's going to get a big pop when he comes back.
Oh yeah,
And I do believe that this is like for Bray Wyatt to refresh, because
Yes,
his
absolutely.
promos were getting kind of
Repetitive.
Repetitive and
before
I
they
wouldn't
took him
really-
off
I
of
wouldn't
TV.
say stale, because every time he talks, it's amazing what he says. It's become too repetitive.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
not
but I
bad.
wouldn't
Just
say-
he's repeating himself a little bit.
So you set Luke Harper and Eric Rowan free, maybe bringing in some new blood with this female pregnant
Whatever
it's
that-
coming,
whatever is
whatever
going
that
on.
is. The talks that are apparently going on that the Ascension is going to come up and team.
I
with
don't see it. I
and
heard the
become-
same rumor, but I think that would just end up hurting everyone in the long run.
I agree, because really it would just lead to some stupid feud between Harper and Rowan, even though they were set free. It would just be like a little friction between Harper and Rowan as the former guys against the Ascension, which are the new guys. If anyone's going to turn face from the original 3 Wyatt members, it has to be Bray Wyatt. If they give them the Ascension, then that's not going to happen.
Right.
And really, I don't want, they may be doing single careers, but the fact that they're still the Wyatt family characters, I could just see that they're still affiliated with each other. It's just, they're doing their own things, making names for themselves.
Yeah, they're still one with the family.
Yeah.
They're just not.
And I can see, I can still kind of see Rowan and Harper still doing tag teams since they're both set free. I mean, they came in together pretty much, and Bray Wyatt can do his own thing and eventually turn face, because it's just inevitable, him turning face.
That's another rumor I heard going around, which I kind of hope that they do, turning Bray Wyatt face. And for all we know, that could be a reason why he's sort of staying off for a while. Just how to balance that creepy character that made him so popular and sort of still keep him a face in the modern era.
Yeah, and it's really intriguing because where do these three guys go from here? Nobody knows.
But we are all itching to find out, and at least I am.
It just popped into my head. Maybe the pregnant woman saying it's coming is just a symbol of them being reborn. It's not a particular character or anything. It's just the symbol that they're gone. They're, like I said, being reborn into something new and different, bringing something new to their characters.
They're rising from the ashes.
They are. Oh boy!
Yeah.
I love that. I have to applaud that.
I hope it's something like that. That would be glorious. And you know what? Speaking of this show and things being glorious and rising from the ashes of school masses, we gotta talk about Damien Mizdow.
Yes!
Yeah.
All hope is not lost.
All hope is not lost, and I hope they continue with what they're doing.
Hope is restored.
And for those who don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about The Miz versus Sheamus. And even before we get onto that match, let's go to what set up this match. The Miz and Sandow giving the Authority a fruit basket in apology for what happened last week. Kane obviously saying no. I don't even remember exactly what Kane said. He just saying, for this, you have to have a match against Sheamus. They leave. All of a sudden, Sandow comes back in and grabs the fruit basket, and he just gives out one big,
So there. We're taking our fruit back.
He doesn't even say it. He just turns, looks at Kane, turns away, and walks out with the basket. I'm like, thank you, Sandow. You are awesome.
And then during the actual matches, he's pantomiming every single move. That
he's been doing that for weeks. That's the one thing I love, because it just seems
so good.
It seems natural. It seems like that's something he's doing on his own. Like they say,
it probably is.
They told him, "You're the stunt double for the Miz. Do what you can with it." And he's mimicking the Miz.
I'll tell you what. For every wrestler who's ever been saddled with a stupid gimmick before, and just sort of whine and complain about it in a shoot interview afterwards, you gotta give Sandow credit. He's giving all the crap that's being shoveled down his throat, and he is making gold out of it. And finally, the crowd is actually noticing.
Oh, the crowd
general is actually noticing. And it's glorious.
And they are finally chanting and saying, "Let's go, Mizdow. Mizdow's better.
Sandow's better.
Sandow, just normal Sandow. We want Sandow chants." Ooh, excuse me. The fact that even now the announcers, the commentators, were talking about how over Sandow was being, and they even continued it tonight on SmackDown. They didn't bring it up like they did on Monday, but Sandow is continuing to get cheers every time.
And they left the cheers in on a pre-taped show.
Exactly. I'm hoping they're actually going somewhere with that. They actually build something on that, like it's something naturally made, they progress on it to. Like we were another potential face turn from Damien Sandow to finally give him some real legitimacy other than being the lackey for the Miz.
I've got an idea.
The Miz gets jealous and turns on.
I've got an idea, or better yet, we do. Eventually, Miz will do he'll get the United States Championship back. He'll be like, "Okay, I'm the Miz and I'm awesome." Sandow's like, "You know what? You only got that title back because of me." The fans are getting my corner finally. They basically do a $1 Million Man Virgil thing. Eventually, Sandow's had enough. He's awesome. Sandow has a feud with The Miz. Eventually wins the U.S. title. Brings a little bit more interest back to the title. And then, boom. Sandow's back in the game, baby.
Even planting even more seeds for that. Have it be like, now that Sandow and Miz, make them an actual tag team. After this whole storyline with Sheamus, if it actually goes through with anything, if Miz actually does win the title, probably from Sheamus once again being distracted by Sandow, have it be them kind of sort of being booked as faces. Not really, they're still their heelish characters, but since Sandow's getting cheers anyway, he'll come in as like the face, and he's actually the one getting wins, yet Miz is the one taking the credit because
I actually
he's
like
actually
that
he's
idea.
the stunt double. But
Especially
you actually
if he's a stunt double, that would
And-
actually make a really cool dynamic in tag matches. I like this.
where Sandow's like finally he's getting his build back. Sandow's taking the victory, but Miz is taking the credit since he's the stunt double, and then it actually leads to Sandow finally turning on the Miz.
Or Sandow will start hitting his finisher, and then
Miz will get the.
Miz will dash in and grab the pin.
It actually
It
be a
writes
great
itself.
story.
It writes itself.
Exactly, WWE Creative. It does write itself. Flow with it.
Give me a paycheck, WWE.
Do we
please.
have Sandow using the Miz's moves to pull out victories for the Miz?
That would be pretty funny.
Do we?
Like Sandow hits the skull crushing finale, puts someone in the figure 4 leg lock better than the Miz ever could.
Maybe if Miz actually has a match, maybe if when they're actually having their legit match against each other, yeah, sure. But after that initial Sandow win, he goes back to being really himself. Maybe reestablish himself, not as like the intellectual savior, just as I don't know, whatever he wants to be.
But
really.
I mean, like when they're in that tag team,
oh yeah,
you have Sandow using the Miz's moves to take the victory, and then you have either the Miz steal the pin. But Sandow is winning matches for this tag team using the Miz's moves as a stunt double. You don't see any of Sandow's moveset. You don't see any of it. You just see Sandow using the Miz's moveset because he's a stunt double. Air quotes.
Except maybe the elbow of disdain, just because that's one
like
thing
his signature. I miss the cartwheels, actually. I can be perfectly. I miss his cartwheels.
Who knows? Depending on how this goes, we could get the cartwheels back.
It would actually be a very entertaining.
I want to see the cartwheels
with Sandow because they're both Sandow and Miz are great on the mic.
Yes, they are.
So they can actually have a legit feud out of this.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Which a
legit mid-card feud that can actually have the fans invested in because they like Sandow and they're tired of seeing him getting crapped on, even though he's making this crap gold. We want to see him
gold crap.
Gold crap. We want to see him rise again.
And you know what? I think he will. But in the meantime, until that happens, we still have our main event of the evening, Michael Buffer style. We have John Cena in a in a 3-on-1 tag match, Orton, Rollins, Kane.
Well, in this case, it's a 3-on-1 handicap match.
What'd I say?
You said tag match.
Well, it was supposed to be a 3-on-2. It was supposed to be a 3-on-2, but then Dean Ambrose got hungry.
But then it ended in a DQ when Ambrose comes back
with a hot dog.
With his hot dog.
Wait a minute.
With many hot dogs.
Wait, before even mentioning that, you said it was a disqualification. Did anyone else find it weird that the disqualification happened as soon as Kane ran in and hit a big boot on John Cena?
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of awkward. That was weird.
What? I'm just like, that wasn't even like, really, he wouldn't fight back.
That's like regular match tactics.
Yeah, it's like a tag match tactics. Just one move, and it's an automatic disqualification. I would see it understandable if, let's say, he attacks Cena, the ref tries to push him back, and Kane pushes him aside and continues beating on Cena. But just from one boot?
Yeah, one commentator put it best on some other podcast. Just put it. You know how many big boots I've seen that have ended in a disqualification? None of them.
Well, now you could say one.
Yeah, well,
and it wasn't even a big boot. It was
just a kick.
It was a stomp.
Inconsistent booking. That's all.
And then leading to the beatdown of Cena, and then all of a sudden Dean Ambrose comes in with the hot dog cart.
We throws all the condiments on.
No, it's even best that he had a
holster.
He had a holster of mustard and ketchup.
I was like, "Is this real life? Is he really doing this?"
Oh, and you know what? I like it. I actually don't mind that he does it.
It's one of those things where you can only see Dean Ambrose pulling this off and making it good. Anybody else, it would just be cheesy as hell. But this, you just see Dean Ambrose, and you're like,
"This is awesome."
Yeah. I can actually see him doing this in real life. So yes, this actually works out, and it was amazing.
Oh man, this whole segment was just so much fun. Sure, by this time I'm usually getting tired. It's a long Raw. I had to slog through a lot of crap to get here, but you know what? I'm satisfied with the way it ended. It's fun. It was was a fun sort of wrestler drives something into the ring and messes up people with it. It was fun.
Seemed like a small dose of old school Attitude Era.
Yeah,
feel.
Yeah, you had
Like
you
I
had
said,
the beer truck, then you had the milk cart. Now you have the hot dog cart.
And you know what?
It fit.
It did fit. If they could have made this so silly and cheesy with Dean Ambrose, but you know what? Same thing with Sandown. What he's doing, he took the ball and ran with it, and it was this thing was so much fun. I hope he doesn't make it a regular thing, which he shouldn't. But you know what? For one night only, people are going to remember this.
So what did he pour on Seth Rollins? Sauerkraut and something else, right?
Relish.
Relish? Okay.
Relish, yes.
And it leads, of course, to Triple H coming out and finally making it official.
The one we all thought was going to happen.
Dean Ambrose versus John Cena. Winner gets Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell.
And here we are.
And here we are with Dean Ambrose nailing the first move with a double arm DDT on John Cena.
Which, me being a Mick Foley mark, I was loving.
Hell, Mick Foley even loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the only question is, okay, as you asked me earlier this week, is that his new finisher? Or is he still do? I believe he would still do the dirty deeds. It was just one of those surprise moves.
Yeah.
He turns around, kicks him into the double arm. But I mean, I can see that becoming like his setup move,
a signature,
his setup 2-count move every match.
It might. Well, I think we're going to see that in the weeks to come before the pay-per-view. But either or, the only thing I could think of at the time was, you know what? Dean Ambrose has to win this match.
With the momentum he's getting?
Yeah,
he's
got to. Just to keep that momentum, Cena will always be Cena. I think everyone knows, hopefully, that Cena will always be Cena. Now they're setting it up for it's Dean Ambrose's time.
In a perfect world, Dean Ambrose would win this match. Okay. But this is not a perfect world.
This is John Cena's
WWE. This is John Cena's WWE, which means I'm 50-50.
Oh, I'm 50-50 too. I hate that I'm 50-50 on this. Because really, if the logic in it is give it to the man who's actually been feuding with Seth Rollins for the past couple of months.
Because with the story that we were talking about earlier with the Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton kind of means that the other match would be John Cena versus Seth Rollins. Which in turn makes me believe that the match at Hell in a Cell, the matches at the Hell in a Cell will turn out the same.
The only real thing is, they were hinting at the whole thing, loser gets Randy Orton. Unless they add it in the next couple of weeks, I don't think I'm not convinced that they'll really add it in. Because really, who would have the loser, I don't think they've ever done anything like that in WWE. The loser gets someone else.
Not that I'm aware of.
There's also still the shot, which I would love this. Okay. Draw.
I would, yeah. It would make sense.
You get all three of them in the Hell in a Cell, and then let the chips fall where they may. At that point, you can have Seth Rollins steal a pin.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, really.
Well, if the Randy Orton thing isn't falling through, the best case scenario at this point for me, it is just because it's either Dean Ambrose goes over big. Mm-hmm. The best case scenario would be Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
The medium approach, and the one which I feel that if the WWE wants it, they'll take this over anything else, will be the triple threat match.
I hope not.
If the only other alternative is Cena beats everybody clean, then yeah, go with the draw ending.
But here was my thing last week, as stated on the show. If they add the Randy Orton thing, why not make it a tag match? It's been done before.
Why not make it a fatal four-way?
No, I mean, like, if they're gonna because
The focal point is on Rollins right now.
the focal point is on
Rollins is the prize.
Let's if you're gonna if you're gonna have all four of these guys, then just it turns into a draw. Something happens, and tag team matches have been done in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, I've been to,
Why not?
I've been to the one show when it was DX versus Legacy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's
I
like
was there
why
too.
not? Why not have Dean Ambrose and John Cena versus Seth Rollins and Randy Orton, and the Dean Ambrose and John Cena are all fighting over who gets.
It's like, it makes me ask, why not give Dean Ambrose the Daniel Bryan treatment of having him win clean over Cena?
Because
he's getting the
I think
Daniel
he's
Bryan
got a
treatment.
shot.
Because here's the problem, okay? The Daniel Bryan treatment had nothing to do with Cena, ever. And it had to do with Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and Triple H, and Batista. John Cena was never involved. John Cena
At
took the pin.
SummerSlam he was.
Yeah, John Cena took the pin cleanly, and that was it.
Why can't he Why can't he do the same thing with Dean Ambrose?
think
That's
he
the
will.
question.
I think
I
he will.
don't think he will.
Well, right now, I can see it's just coming down to...
Because it's what we
can just come down to personal confidence at this point,
Yeah,
which
'cause
it's up
really-
in the air.
I don't have the confidence in the WWE at this point.
I
to
can
be
see that.
completely-
Oh, and I don't
to
have
be,
confidence
to
in
be
the-
completely sure that Dean Ambrose will go over John
Well, no
Cena.
one's going to be completely sure.
The way this year has gone, okay? John Cena was different last year. He was taking pinfalls all the time from people like Daniel Bryan and people who were on the cusp. Okay, this year rolls over Bray Wyatt. Everyone who John Cena has faced is basically a rollover.
This was this past... Actually, him losing to Daniel Bryan was this past year.
I said SummerSlam, the 2013. I said last year he was doing
Okay.
that, and then this year, every newcomer who he's gone up against, who he's never faced before, he's rolled over. Dean Ambrose versus John Cena has never been a one-on-one. I do not believe that Dean Ambrose goes over on John Cena the first time that John Cena gets him.
I will
in a
add
match.
one caveat to that. Because of Roman Reigns' absence and because of Daniel Bryan's absence now, post WrestleMania 30, WWE is also now in a main event face deficit. If they want to maintain someone other than John Cena in the main event, that fact alone, that Dean Ambrose is the most over face in the company right now, just because he's healthy, that alone puts him in a possible likelihood that, you know what, there's actually a shot that Dean Ambrose could win this thing.
I mean, like, it's what I want to happen. Okay, but the track record this year goes to show that I trust nothing that the WWE does.
And you know what? That at this rate, that's completely understandable,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But you know what? Now we're just getting into time will tell. Next
Yeah.
week is another Raw. We'll see where this goes.
Exactly.
So as far as this Raw, what kind of beard rating would you give it? 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 1 to 5. What up?
Let's see. The things that hurt it did hurt it, and The Rock and the Bray Wyatt promos and Dean Ambrose helped. I think I'm just gonna have to go just right down the middle. Give it a classic goatee, a 3.
Brian, what about you?
This is tough
It
because
was
the
very-
bad
it was-
because the bad was very, very bad,
It was.
and the good was very, very good. And I'm gonna do classic OT just barely because the good was very good.
It evens it out.
The bad was stuff that I never have to see again, and there was enough very good things that will make me go on YouTube later and watch them over again. Which in other Raws past, in which I gave a peach fuzz, there wasn't any of that.
Yeah.
So I'll go Classic OT.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. This one was a really tough one for me to call as well, just because it was so weird. This Raw was all over the place. But like you guys said, when it was good, it was really, really good. This, I hate to sound boring and predictable, but I gotta give this a 3 out of 5 Classic OT. It was bad at a lot of points, but at the same time, it was also unpredictable in a good way. Lots of surprises. It wasn't a boring Monday Night Raw. It wasn't dull. It wasn't routine. Which, as far as a weekly episodic wrestling show, that's perfectly acceptable to me. But you know what? We also know that we're not the only scholars in this equation. We know that you're out there too. We know you're listening. So you know what? What did you think of this past week's Raw? What's going on with Dean Ambrose? What's going on with John Cena? Who's going to win this feud? Or is just Seth Rollins going to pull an upset on everybody? Who knows? Let us know what you think. Comment on this video. Comment on our Facebook page. Look us up on Facebook, The Scholars of Wrestling Show. And of course, if you like what you hear here and you want to see more, just click on the like button, like this video, subscribe to us for more right in your inbox so you can listen to every single episode we upload all the time. So guys, that sounds like another week of wrestling on the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Anything more to add?
I'm glad to be back. This is so much fun.
Good to have you back, Fool. Good to have you back.
Great start for my birthday weekend.
Another good time. No alcohol required.
However,
I have been drinking it.
Of course, it's a day ending in Y. Why wouldn't you?
Of course. Why not?
Here's something to end the show on. I am now refusing to wear my Daniel Bryan shirts until he comes back because the fact that they give Brie Bella the goddamn yes chant.
Why do I have a feeling we could put a whole nother episode about that?
There you go. That's
we'll
my.
Save that for another episode.
I'll leave that with you.
That kind of makes me wonder if it's just the yes chant that's over.
But it makes me finally give it a sink in, have it sink in, people, and just be like, you know what, WWE, here you go, middle finger. That's how I feel about you giving so much investment in Brie Bella and Nikki Bella.
But then again, if you didn't know that, you know that now, because you know what, we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
Let's go get those